call a spade a spade. This is a clear case, isn't it, of someone imposing their faith, even if it is at the cost of this young lady's murder. It can only be called murder. Joining us from Dublin is Nick Mathuna. She's spokesperson of Youth Defence. Thank you very much, Ms. Mathuna, for joining us. Also with us is...
Thanks for having me here.
Yes, thank you very much. Father Dominic Emmanuel, spokesperson of the Delhi Archdiocese, defends the decision taken by the Irish doctors and the Irish authorities. Aryaman Sundaram, one of India's top lawyers at the Supreme Court. Thank you very much, Mr. Sundaram. Suranya Iyer, human rights lawyer. Suranya, thanks. My first question is to Rahul Ishwar. How do you see this? Rahul Ishwar, well-known social activist, represents the Sabarimala Trust. Rahul, one way of looking at it is medical negligence. However, I don't think it's a case of medical negligence, is it? It's about imposition of faith.
Arnabji, more than the debate of abortion or pro-life, it is a denial of basic human rights. Plus, it is imposing one's own religion on others. How can, she is a Hindu woman, she is an Indian. How can the Catholic law be imposed on her? Along with the abortion debate and along with the denial of basic rights, this is imposing one's faith on others. It's a matter of religious imposition of their own faith. This is religious intolerance. And many people are calling it murder, and I think it is very difficult to defend not calling it as murder. So this is a classic case of religious fundamentalism, imposing their faith on others and making other people of other religion comply to their faith.
Ms. Mathuna, what's the argument being put on the other side is that the child has the right to live. But what about the mother's right to live?
I think it's very important that we all remember here that the life of the mother is paramount in medical care in Ireland. Our own medical council guidelines state that doctors are not only allowed but that they're actually obliged to intervene in cases such as this tragic case, such as Savita's, where the life of the mother is at risk. And the guidelines are very clear. In current obstetrical practice, rare complications can arise where therapeutic intervention may be necessary. So this is absolutely allowed, and it is actually, doctors are actually under obligation.
So why did they deny it? Why did they deny it, therefore, is the question. Sorry, losing the satellite link there. If that is the case, then Father Dominic Emmanuel, the Irish authorities have no case at all. And do you agree with Rahul Ishwar's position that is the imposition of faith on the Hindu Indian woman who is in Ireland who's begging for her life?
Neither you?
I think you and our gentleman from, what's his name, Ishwara, are taking the argument completely off the mark. This is not at all about imposing one's religious beliefs on anybody else at all. That is absolutely a wrong track that your argument is going to. First of all, let me say that the Church has and the Government of Ireland has expressed, and I personally express deep sympathies to the family of Savita, and this is really unfortunate that what has happened to Savita. That is the first thing. Secondly, let me also make it very clear that Ireland is not a Catholic country. It may have a Catholic culture, like India is not a Hindu nation, it has a Hindu culture. So there is no question of imposing there. Thirdly, and very importantly, for the Church, every life is important. Every life. Every life means every life. Whether it is the life of Savita, or it is the life of the child that was in her womb, or any other life that is anywhere. And the religion is actually trying to protect life. I don't know how you're saying that it is imposing religious belief.
Well, I think you've got it. I think Father Emmanuel
basically save both the lives.
Father Emmanuel, I think you've got
it.
Father Emmanuel, I think you've got it slightly wrong. With all respect, I have great respect for you, but I must insist here. I think you've got the facts wrong. It is because in this case, the woman is a doctor herself. She's medically aware. She's a 31-year-old dentist. She suffered a miscarriage. And she knows the fetus has no chance of survival. Now, either you want to make it an issue of imposition of faith. The reason why Rahul Ishwar is arguing about imposition of faith is because Savita was informed by senior hospital physicians that she was having a miscarriage and that her fetus had no chance of survival. At that stage, she went to the doctors and she begged them. She begged them, Father Emmanuel, let me live. Let me live.
And she was told, told that it is their faith.
I am not here defending the doctors at all.
1 minute.
I am not defending the doctors at all.
1 minute.
There could have been easily an error of judgment.
You can't diminish. This is not a question of error of judgment. Don't play it down. Please don't undermine the importance of this entire issue by calling it error of judgment.
And just say what the medical specialists are saying.
One second. Let's calm down here. Father Emmanuel, please. Let's hear. Miss Matuna, is it true or not that in this particular case, the fetus did not have a chance of survival?
It is true that the fetus had no chance of survival, but if you would please let me finish, our Medical Council guidelines state that doctors are allowed and obliged to intervene whether the fetus is viable or not. You do not know what happened in this case, neither do I. But our own Minister for Health, James Riley, has said that he seriously doubts that there was any question of fate brought into this. But one thing that is very, very important is that you are undermining this case by speculating to a ridiculous degree. You do not know what was going on in this case. You do not know what the issue was with the doctors. Dr. Walsh, a consultant obstetrician and gynaecologist in Ireland, speaking on television last night, said that every individual case has to be treated differently. For example, in some cases, it might have been unsafe to intervene at that stage, and it might have been safer for them to wait rather than to intervene with any kind of surgical interventions at that time. So we really, if we are being responsible about this, we should wait for this inquiry to be finished and to see what is actually going on.
Miss Matuna.
From the reports that we can see in the Irish Times, what appears to have happened, if you would just let me finish, what appears to have happened, although I do not wish to speculate further, is that there may have been an undue delay on antibiotics administered to the woman.
Miss Matuna, let's get the facts of the case. Let's get the facts of the case. Miss Matuna, let me finish, please. Miss Matuna, let me ask you the question, Miss Matuna, please.
And it is outrageous.
Miss Matuna.
It is outrageous and diabolical that the pro-abortion lobby are using this tragedy, as they so often do, to try to further their own agenda.
Miss Matuna, frankly, with all respect, I have great respect for Irish and Ireland and your country. You have a great culture. I'm sure you're proud of it. We respect your country greatly. But honestly, let me tell you this very, very clearly, Miss Matuna. We are only concerned about how a young Indian woman was driven to her death when this could have been avoided. It's plain and simple as that. And you say, I'm not aware. Let me tell you that Article 40.3.3 of your constitution, not mine, reads as follows. The state acknowledges the right to live of the unborn and with due regard to the equal right to life of the mother, guarantees in its laws to respect and as far as practicable by its laws to defend and vindicate that right, which follows as by the question is, when this aforementioned article mentions this part, with due regard to the equal right of the life of the mother, I am asking clearly tonight, Ariman Sundaram, was that regard shown for Savita's life when it was evident that her child would not survive?
And I am telling you that neither you nor I know the full answer of what happened in this case.
Miss Matuna, that question was to Ariman Sundaram, the lawyer in Delhi. Yes.
Just 1 second.
Madam,
did you show the same concern for an Indian woman? Did you show the same concern for an Indian woman who died in an abortion clinic in India on the 6th of November? Did you show the same concern for her?
Miss Matuna,
is this really just another push
Miss Matuna, please don't be sensitive because I'm asking a straight question. I don't represent a lobby. I am simply asking a straightforward question. I know that there will be a lot of people in Ireland very sensitive that a straightforward Indian media is asking straightforward questions. I am only in the business, Miss Matuna, of asking straightforward questions. And that question, by the way, was put to Ariman Sundaram. Yes, Ms. Sundaram. Mr. Sundaram, your response.
Arnab, there are two aspects to this matter. One is the socio-emotional aspect. The other is what I call the political aspect. The unfortunate part of it is that we are dealing with the internal rules and regulations, laws of a country, which laws we may not agree with at all. Now, according to me, any law by which a human life can be given up for any reason is abhorrent. However, let me equally say that if their law so provides, then the entire world community is really speaking out against such a law. And I must point out that if I'm not mistaken, the European Human Rights Commission has in fact decried any law by which abortion can be prevented to an extent that it endangers the life of the mother. Having said that, you see, an Englishman comes to India, commits murder. He commits murder, he's given a death sentence. In England, the death sentence is considered abhorrent. But our law provides for the death sentence. A European where the death sentence is considered abhorrent, when he comes to India, unfortunately, is subject to the Indian law.
I agree.
Now, what I find a problem in this is to find fault with the hospital. I do not think, unless it can be shown that the hospital itself was negligent in any way, that any fault can be found with the hospital. It is really driving home a fact that bringing religious sentiments into politics, into a constitution, is most unfortunate. And while I think the Archbishop pointed out that Ireland may not be a Catholic country, quote unquote, its constitution certainly has a Catholic slant. And to that extent, I think we in this country should more than ever respect the fact that we are secular and protect it. Because this is the problem which you will face, because your socio-political reasons often clash. And when they clash, it also is, look at the abortion and anti-abortion lobby in the United States and other countries. It's such a huge lobby today. Why? We're bringing religion into it.
Yes,
and
we are bringing
where the problem arises, that here is a woman who's lost her life unnecessarily, only because she died in a country which does not respect a living human life.
Absolutely.
Over an unborn child's also living life, but has really...
And I want to know tonight, my question is tonight...
To our medical specialists in this country.
Ms. Matuna, the question is tonight that everybody...
I totally disagree.
No, one second. Let me go to Suranya, then I'll open this up to debate. This is an important debate and I'm free. I would like to have all points of view on it. The simple question is, you can shoot over the shoulders of the fetus who medically, in this particular case, the fetus which did not have a great chance of survival. But what about the right of that woman to live? Her husband is saying several times they went to the doctors when she was in pain and agony. And they said, I know I will die, don't let me die. I want to live. This is a medically trained person. Suranya.
Can I answer this?
Suranya, and then I'll come back to Ms. Matuna.
I have 3 points to make here. The first one, very quickly, I'm very uncomfortable with your opening characterization of this as a Hinduism versus Catholicism debate. It's really not fair to put Father Emmanuel on the spot for what appears to be Irish culture and the Irish version of Catholicism. Moving on from there, I think it's absolutely pathetic that in the 21st century, you actually have a country where there is any debate, any question about whether a woman who is already miscarrying in the 17th week of her pregnancy should not be given an abortion to save her life. Okay, and let me tell you, the 17th week of pregnancy does not mean the fetus is 17 weeks old, because these weeks are counted from the first date of the menstrual cycle prior to actual conception. So, you know, we're a few weeks short. Okay, so first, I think that this exposes, and these interactions that India is having with some of these smaller countries in Europe, such as Norway over the Bhattacharya case, and in Ireland, is exposing the regressive, in the Irish case, and in both the Norwegian and the Irish case, the anti-women tendency, a culture that is actually, you know, hidden in these cultures. And I think as Indians, we have to look at it and question it, and we should take a strong line. We should take this up as a humanitarian issue with the Irish on what they are doing by denying women control over their bodies. But secondly, I have one more point. I have one more point addressing what the Irish lady who came on the channel said.
Ms. Matuna,
and I saw this happen in the Norwegian case as well. The point that is being made by this Irish representative is that inquiries are on, and let's not speculate. Now, inquiries may be on in Ireland, but this lady's family has come out with what they say happened. And by saying that we're speculating, they are implying that these Indians and this family is lying about the fact that she went in there, she was miscarrying, and she asked for an abortion. All right. Thirdly, if it is the case that the laws in Ireland do not deny a woman who's at risk of her life from getting an abortion, then the inquiry which is taking place in Ireland must extend beyond medical negligence to whether there was racism at place over here.